Welcome back to another episode of Excuse My Grandma. It's Kim and my co-host,
Grandma Gail.
So we're excited because this week is a solo episode, just the two of us, which I know a lot of listeners have been asking for. Updates on our lives, just us chatting, some extra bonus Grandma Gail content. Right?
Right. We're chatting because last week we both had COVID. So we're finally back together. And it's been a tough week. So
Grandma gave me COVID from all of her.
I didn't give you COVID. You just got it.
She felt
in
sick
the air.
first, which means she got it first. And I know she got it from her yentas at Canasta or wherever you went to your luncheons.
Yes, no, I definitely got it from my friends, but I didn't have any real symptoms. You had the cough and the loss of smell and all that. I didn't have any of that.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I tested positive, so I guess I had it.
Yeah. Well, luckily, before all this, we were able to take a nice Italy trip with our family.
And I just loved being in Venice with you. And Kim, tell them how the glass blowing went, because you were extra special. We went to in Murano, we went to a famous studio there, and he let you blow the glass.
Right. And well, we posted on our Instagram some videos if you guys wanted to take a look, but they're famous for glass blowing in Venice, if you didn't know. And
it was
very cool.
Good. You had a big ball of glass on the
know.
end of your torch. It was fabulous.
I am great at that, apparently. If I ever need a backup career.
This could be it.
Glass blower.
And you could always move to Venice. But I also think there's one in Brooklyn. You don't have to go. You don't have to have
not
jet
quite
lag.
so far.
You don't just go over the Brooklyn Bridge.
Yeah. And we made some videos while we were there for TikTok. And one of them went so viral. It was things my Jewish grandma does in Italy that just make sense. And people were just thinking it was so funny, like telling the boat driver directions, even though you're a tourist.
You make up such things.
You did it. Saying all of the paintings in the museum where people stooping.
Well, we had fun. You have to laugh at all the turns and all the things you do.
Yeah.
So this was a trip for fun, and we had a lot of laugh.
Yeah.
We ate a lot of pasta, and I found out I don't like pasta in Italy.
Yeah, it
It's
was
so
not good.
crazy. It's not that it's not good. It's al dente, and we like it softer. So every place I wanted to send it back and say cook it a little more, but I think the chef would have come out and killed me.
Yeah.
So we ate it, but what I did find was the most fabulous tiramisu in my whole life.
God.
On the Isle of
I've never
Giudecca.
seen you so happy.
Oh my gosh, we went to a little place on the water, and we had dessert after having a delicious lunch, but it was something. It was like the heavens had come down. The cream was so light, the chocolate was so delicious.
Oh my gosh.
So I recommend anybody who goes to Venice try the tiramisu, and especially go to the
I wish we had the name to give everyone, but if you DM me on Instagram, I'll look it up later.
I have the name, so I can give it to you, Kim, so you can shoot it out to everyone.
Right. But yeah, we had a great time, and now we're back and
Back to reality.
back in New York, and I think it'll be a good summer.
Well, so far the weather has been beautiful, and we're coming up to almost the longest days of the year, around the 21st, I think, of June. So it's beautiful in the city. You to walk at night. The sun is, the only thing, the streets aren't so clean. It's so interesting to see when you return from a foreign country how they wash their streets and have street cleaners, I guess, every day. In the smallest little places, you never see a piece of paper. And that coming back to New York is always a culture shock for me, because we have all these big sanitation trucks and all this equipment, and our streets always seem to be a little tired.
Yeah. Oh, also, while we were in Italy at the same time, the Kardashians were in Italy.
Oh, right. But they didn't call us up.
No, they didn't, unfortunately. But they had Kourtney Kardashian's wedding.
And we did do a review on it.
On the outfits.
Right. Some of them were really... Well, the mom's outfit, she looked like a giant pink feather.
Yeah,
bird.
right.
But it was pretty, but it was very feathery. I didn't love the girls' outfits because it was very goth, and I'm not sort of into that.
Yeah, because it's
look.
like she's kind of, her and her husband are like pretty punk rock because he's in a band.
Well, it looked like it in the pictures, but listen, they must have had a good time, because we had a good time, and the weather was perfection. So, and that makes a wedding always good.
Another video we did recently was rating fashion trends that are popular right now. A lot of like early 2000s vibes.
Because nobody, you know what? I think people are looking backwards because
Yeah.
they really, right now, that was the thing we also noticed in overseas, is that everybody's dressing the same. It doesn't matter. You wear a pair of sweats and a t-shirt, you could go anywhere in
Right.
the world. And maybe for dinner, you just put on a little more, a button-down collared shirt or a for the men, and for the ladies, just wear something a little nicer on the tops. No one's dressing. I really almost am sad about it, but I'm glad because it takes much less effort now to get ready at night.
Yeah, I mean, it's still fun to get dressed up sometimes, I agree, but it's definitely a lot easier to just. And that also is an early 2000s thing. Like, think about Paris Hilton, like, in just the Juicy Couture tracksuits, and that was cool just
Right.
to wear
I'm
out.
telling you, it's coming back because I think COVID did everybody in, and everybody went back
Mm-hmm.
into look in their closets and look at the outfits they had
Yeah.
and found out they were good enough.
Yeah. I was never like really into Paris Hilton. Like I don't know. Like I guess maybe because she was popular in like the 90s, early 2000s, and maybe I was still a little young, but I've been watching her reality shows and it's so entertaining.
Do you know that she was a babysitter for that Bethany Frankel?
No, Bethany's
No,
older than her.
yes. She was her babysitter.
No, do you mean Bethany was Paris's babysitter?
No, Paris was Bethany's.
No, that's impossible.
Oh, you mean
Bethany's like 50.
Yeah, and how old is Paris?
38 maybe.
Oh, so maybe you're right. Maybe
There's
Bethany
no
was,
way
You're right.
that
you're
she
right,
was
you're
her
right.
babysitter.
You're right. I'm a little confused. You're right.
Did you see that
oh,
on the MTV Awards? Is that what?
exactly?
Yeah.
I saw that on television.
Yeah.
You're right. I'm sorry.
She's
Kim.
41, Paris.
Oh, okay.
And let's see how old Bethany is.
She's got to be about 56.
51.
Oh, 51.
They're pretty
So
close in.
Put it 10 years.
So when she was 10, she was her babysitter?
I guess she was a babysitter. Maybe they lived near each other and she just
Right.
hung out.
Huh. Interesting. Yeah, so I've been watching that. I also just binge watched Stranger Things because the new season was out. It was scary.
I don't know. I'm back to watching Feeding Phil. Thank
Oh, I
heavens
finished
they
already.
came. Oh, you did the new series?
Yeah.
Oh,
Somebody feed Phil.
I'm just sorry. I just finished the Mexico, the first episode. So, but I just love him.
Oaxaca, yeah.
Yeah, I'm never going to where he was eating worms in
Ugh,
a salad.
I
I
know.
decided that is a city I'm missing completely.
The show is on Netflix if you guys wanted to
And it's
watch
so
it. I would
wonderful.
love for him to come on our podcast.
I would too. He is he is the most entertaining, enjoyable man, and he makes everything so. In the world of that we're living, he gives you a little bit of a laughter.
Yeah.
Laugh.
So I want to get into our dating topic of the week. It's summer. People are going out and having hot girl summers, summer flings. People
Well, we're over those summer flings if you're over 18.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Like, are we too old to not think about permanent relationships and just be like, oh, there's a cute guy I'm going to go out with? People say I'm doing it for the plot. Like the plot of their lives, like the story, like as if their life is like a movie or story. They're like, oh, let's do it for the plot, even if it seems off.
I think it's awfully juvenile.
Yeah.
I think I have to tell you the truth. After you're 25, 26, I don't see any reason for spring flings or these. I mean, all they end up is drunken evenings with a bunch of people you'll never see again, hopefully.
Right.
Unless
I guess some people think that's like fun.
I guess if you're in college, it was
Yeah.
fun. I'm not so sure. It's almost like those movies about the Hampton share houses.
Right.
Who cares? First of all, most of the relationships, most people never spoke to each other again because they didn't really know who the heck they were to begin with. They were so plastered.
Yeah.
Well,
it's like that show Summer House on Bravo.
Yeah, exactly. It's a bunch of nonsense. But you know what? Whatever everybody wants to do is fine. No criticism.
Yeah. I don't think it's coming from a judgy place.
No.
I think it's more just like you don't understand the appeal.
No, I don't understand the appeal. I guess maybe your friends might, but I don't.
Yeah, I mean, and I think you could still go out and have fun.
Oh, I think fun parties
and
are
not
fun.
like make purposely bad decisions.
Right. I think basically now I think it's more to get together with smaller groups on a weekend.
So we got a lot of listener questions in on Instagram. And I thought we could answer them on the podcast so we have more time to like go through each one.
Okay.
Budget date ideas when you go on dates with your spouse.
Well, you're certainly not going to the supermarket, so that would not be.
Well, you could
a
cook.
budget.
You're saying that's like less than going out.
Well,
I always feel like cooking ends up being more money.
Well, not really.
Well, I guess not really because you could eat leftovers.
No, and eat leftovers, and then you don't have to give anybody a tip. You're giving yourselves a tip.
Yeah, true.
But I also think it's fun to do something together, like prepare like we've done these little cooking segments ourselves.
Yeah.
And they're fun.
Honestly, yeah, make a YouTube channel cooking videos with your spouse.
I actually think it's just fun to do something together, and then if you're fortunate enough to have a roof on your building or a little backyard where you could go and eat it outside, spread a blanket out.
Yeah,
And
picnics.
sort of picnic. And picnic in New York, picnic in the park, which is absolutely free.
That's always so cute and romantic, I feel like, and we don't utilize it enough.
Oh, I think a lot of people do. The
Oh,
park
really?
on the weekends, you don't utilize it, but I think the Central Park is always packed with people, and I think all the parks are.
Yeah.
It's one of the great wonders that we have still left in the city.
Yeah. Someone wrote, did Gail know Jackie O?
No, I didn't know her personally. She was the first lady, but we all admired her. We didn't know all the traumas that we now know that she was going through, but she was the first lady when I first got married, and we all looked up to her. She was Miss Style, and she had little children, and we thought she was the cat's meow.
Yeah. Oh, cat's meow.
Yeah.
Someone wrote, how do I meet a 50-year-old man that isn't completely flaky? I'm 58 and divorced.
Well, I don't have much advice for you on that. According to Kimberly, everybody's flaky.
I know, but you would think by 50 they have grown up.
Well, I think people basically, and I say this to you all the time, and I don't mean it in a bad way. People really stay the same. They change very little from when they're young. Sometimes they get more entrenched in their ways. But I think if somebody was a little quirky when they were in their 20s, they're probably going to stay like that in their 50s. So you just either have to accept it, or you're never going to be happy.
Someone younger said, where do I meet guys other than school?
How?
I'm not sure. But if she's in school.
Well, she could be in college.
True.
I don't know. I don't know in this day and age where young people meet. I guess you take part in a charity, do some volunteer work. You could certainly maybe work in a camp where other young teenagers are. That's always fun for young people.
Yeah. And I don't know. It's hard. Maybe like friends of friends, like meet someone from another school.
Right. That could be. But at 18, 19, I don't think you should worry. Just enjoy
Live
yourself.
your life. Have experiences
Right.
for you because you will meet guys or girls around along the way.
Correct.
This man says, Grandma, do you have advice for men that can't meet the right woman? Prefer meeting people outside of apps.
That would be what I would prefer as well. I don't have any advice. I mean, most of the people who I know, and I know an awful lot of single people now, they meet each other through friends or through family members who also are by themselves and introduce someone to them. So I don't know anything about apps, so I can't give any advice on that. But usually if you have some good friends and you're over a certain age, they're going to know some single people, and you'll just say you're available. Think of me when you've got a single friend around.
Yeah. After taking some time being single, I'm once again ready to meet someone. Tips.
Well, Kim, you have to be the one to talk to that.
I think that if you have that confidence and that you're ready, like that'll just shine off of you. I don't think you have to think too much about it. Like just put yourself out there. I do this all the time. Like tell people that you're single. Like tell your friends, oh, like I'm newly single. Like, do you know anyone? Or like, I'm newly single. Like, let's go out together. Because like no one's gonna just suddenly, okay, you're ready and someone's gonna just be at your doorstep. No, like you have to like take that energy that you have and be willing to put it out there.
That's very good advice.
Who should pay while dating? Does that remain the same once you're exclusive?
Well, this is a conversation we've had on our podcast a million times, and you always ask the question. I believe the man should pay, and I don't care where you are in the relationship. And it doesn't have to be expensive. It could be, I don't care if you go to a McDonald's or
But let's
a
say you
Chipotle.
hang out like 4 times a week.
Well,
He's gonna just now take you on as another.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't think it has to be an expensive thing. You could go for a hot dog and a glass of
Or whatever, yeah.
papaya juice someplace. I mean, not everything has to be a blockbuster. And then what I think you should do, if it was up to me, the woman or the man should make dinner. For their companion, and that's your treat. Or say, listen, I bought some great desserts. Come over. I'm making cappuccino. I'm gonna serve these desserts. Come on over, and we'll watch a movie. I mean, there are all ways of sort of evening it out.
Okay, this one's interesting. If your friend matches with you on Hinge and sends an inside joke, is he into you? No. I think he's just being like, this is funny that we both are on this app, and it would have been weird to X you. But you could always just respond to it, and like if he continues and like is being flirty, then that would be your answer. If he like doesn't say anything or is just like LOL, then that's your answer. I wouldn't like overanalyze it too much.
Okay, that's good advice.
Is it normal to have a big fight that lasts a long time with a man?
Yeah, then it's a divorce.
Like how long?
Well, if it's more than 24 to 48 hours, you should consider.
Really?
Well, if you're married, there are lots of times you have issues because of children or because of financial issues or whatever. If you're dating and a fight lasts too long, I would reconsider the value of the date. Because unless it's I don't know what issue you could possibly fight over dating. I mean, you might not like the same restaurant, or you might have had a bad day at the office and you're taking it out on your girlfriend or boyfriend.
I think there's more serious fights if it's lasting a long time.
Yeah, I think then there's a problem with the relationship.
Yeah. But I don't know if the answer is just leave.
Well, I don't know how long you stick out something like this if you're not married, you've not made a final commitment. It depends how serious the issue is. If it's over a choice of flavor ice cream, I would say, get over yourself. If it's over religion, if it's over parents, it's over, I hate somebody in your family, that's going to be very...
So you're saying that's not normal?
That's not normal. It's not negotiable. It's not that it's not normal. I think in many relationships it is normal.
But you don't want to accept it.
But you don't want to accept that.
Yeah. So how do you keep the romance alive being married with 2 kids?
I think you have to really work at it. It's not easy, especially if there is both partners are working. You have to set aside a date night. No matter how trivial it sounds, you got to have a little me time together, and get a babysitter, go out of the apartment or house and do something together. You have to do little things for each other. And that's what a relationship in a good marriage is all about. It's not one constant party. It's a lot of hard work that you put in to keep it alive, to keep your love alive, or whatever it is you have alive.
Should being with someone feel challenging?
Are you asking me that, Kim?
That's a question that someone wrote.
I think for me, challenging is not an issue. I think that's too much work. I think somebody that you want to be with should just be enjoyable. It should be fun. It should be light. It should be, you can have interesting conversations. You can do things together. You can do sports together. You can take a walk in the park. You can take a walk on the street. It shouldn't be every day earth-shaking news that comes out of your mouth and has to be challenging. I find that too tiring, and you're going to exhaust yourself. It just isn't worth it. And if somebody has so many issues, they almost need some kind of professional help. You're, as a girlfriend or a guy friend, I don't think that's your responsibility to be a shrink.
Yeah, and I think there's always like little challenges, but I think it depends what is challenging in it.
Right.
Is it challenging to like have a connection with the person? Like you don't know if they like you, like that's not good.
That's different.
But if it's challenging just because it's like you're long distance or like there's certain things
those are serious challenges, and those you have to work out.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not, and it's sometimes, in most cases, it doesn't work out.
Yeah. Best way to approach a woman at a bar or club. Wait, this was actually so funny because I was out the other day and this person was not trying to pick anybody up, but I thought it would actually be a really smart way. Somebody had dropped their earring and he was going around to everybody saying, "Is this your earring?" And he was genuinely trying to like give it back to its owner. But I was like, that's kind of brilliant. Like it's a way to just approach someone as if you're just doing a kind service, and then you could be like, "Oh, what's your name?"
Okay.
Unless people would see through that. I just thought that was like funny.
All right.
But no, realistically the best way to approach someone, like if you walk over and just introduce yourself and be confident, that goes so far. Like don't just stand there in a corner and look at someone. Like just go talk to them. It's so annoying. What if you bump into your ex and it ended badly?
Just say hi and leave.
Yeah.
I don't think you should prolong a conversation with an ex. There's really no point unless you're married and have children. Then the exes have to still talk. But once you're an ex, you're an ex.
Yeah.
Mark it off
I don't
your
think
calendar.
you ignore. Like I think at
No.
least wave.
Yeah.
But yeah, go over. Hi, how are you? Good. Okay, I'm glad, and then walk away.
Right. That's more than enough.
Yeah. And
I
like
don't even know if I'd ask how are you. I just
Yeah.
maybe give the wave and walk away.
yeah. Agreed. How did you know when you both wanted a lifetime together forever? I'm guessing that's for you.
I guess that's for me.
Yeah.
You know what? I didn't know. I was 21 years old. I had absolutely no concept. All my friends were getting married, so I figured it was time for me to get married. This was a very nice guy. On paper, he looked perfect. I knew his family, and we got married. It's not, that's a whole different relationship than what's going on today. So I can't give advice to young people today on how they should know or when they should decide to make it their permanent thing, because it was a very different time in the 50s and 60s.
This is kind of interesting. Should you be a little mysterious on your first date?
Well, I don't think you should take your pants off on your first date. Yeah, I think you should. I mean, that goes back to the question: should you go to sleep on with somebody on your first date? I would say positively no, because I think then a lot of the mystery is not there. I think everybody likes to have a little bit of sexiness and mystery in a relationship. If it becomes too much mystery, then you start getting nervous.
Yeah, I actually didn't equate that with having sex, which is interesting. For me, I just thought you meant like I would never be purposely mysterious, because if someone's like, "Oh, where are you from?" and you're like, "Oh, you don't get to find that out." Like that's weird. Like you should just be yourself and be honest.
I think everybody is. I think the question is whether you should hold back of yourself a little bit. And
I don't think you should hold back your personality.
No, not your personality, but some of the other stuff. I don't have to know if you floss your teeth in the morning on a first date,
right? Or you don't have to tell someone about all your exes,
and your bathroom habits.
Sure.
I mean, a lot of this stuff is really, that was so. What I think the question it was, should you be a little mysterious? Is also whether you're just starting out together, and it takes time to learn about one another. So go about it slowly.
Okay, I think that was most of our questions.
Okay, Kim, that's a good job. We have to answer them because they're constantly on your phone flashing. I see that coming in.
Mm-hmm. So thanks for joining us again this week, everybody. If you liked the episode, please let me know on Instagram. Excuse My Grandma is our username. We love to hear feedback from you guys, what you want to see more of, what guests you want us to have on. Follow us on TikTok, Excuse My Grandma, and we will see you next week.